Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever it is where
Happy
you
time
wherever you
zone.
are. Happy time zone. I'm East Coast, so I'm. It's late morning for me, and I'm already hungry. I feel like ever since I got my second vaccination, I feel like all I want to do is go to sleep and eat.
What else is new?
See, I thought about this long and hard. I thought, I wonder if Daniel should come and hang out for the day. I wonder what kind of abuse I'm going to get.
So let's just put it this way. I love the bumper music. They are bangers. So now it's downhill from there.
Well, it's always been like that. So, yeah, Christos is off recording a video this morning. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah,
It's
so
5 p.m. for me, so don't complain. Here in the future, it's not that great.
great. So I don't have much to look forward to. I'm going to try to
Nope.
actually leave. I'm leaving this afternoon. I got to get my windows tinted because it's hot already. And
I will
I
not
don't
get
know.
up because I'm wearing short shorts.
Where are you? You're still in where
I'm
in
still in
Poland?
Poland. Yep.
Yeah. Well, my Polish in-laws are here for the week. They got here yesterday.
Oh, so you're sick because you've been drinking yesterday. We're all about the booze, dude.
I think they're too old to be all about booze now.
There is no such thing. We drink till the day we die.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's directly connected.
So I don't know. It'll be an interesting week. I might actually get to go out on a date with my wife. The last date we had was 2.5 years ago when I drove her to the hospital to have our third kid. So
Oh,
not very
I thought it was 9 months before you had your kid. Okay.
well. That was probably the one before it. That was the date before that one. Apparently,
Yeah.
we've got three kids. We need a new hobby. So
Yeah.
anyway, so when are you coming back to? When are you coming back to the states?
July. So my wife is joining me for some vacay here in Poland. So we'll do some lake and some friends and because July
Nice.
it's nothing's going on in the company, so I'm taking like 5 weeks off.
Nice. That's awesome. Well, yeah, we're going to Michigan for pretty much most of July to go see
Yeah,
my in-laws.
of course you
So,
would. In that searing heat, you should escape it as soon as humanly possible.
it's weird. It was like 85, 87 a week ago, and it was like
So
50 or something yesterday.
for all of us that do regular human temperatures, it's around 30.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Sure. See, everything's in freedom units around here.
No, it's literally imperial UK kingdom royal thing. It's literally anti-freedom. French invented freedom and democracy, and they went with metric system because it was universal and free.
Yeah, I mean, my son is 7, so he's figuring out measurement units, and you just see the gears turning. Like even he at 7 is like, why is this like this? Why is it 12 inches in a foot? Why is it called a foot? And then the
Oh,
stones.
yeah.
I
So
don't get the stones.
inches, it's easy because it's the length of a bay leaf,
Oh, because I
right?
have plenty of bay leaves just sitting around.
It was basically merchant thingy. They measured in a
Um,
kind of in a bay leaf how long something was, and it was an approximation. Yard is one of the kings figured out how far away is my tip of my nose from the tip of my finger, and that became a yard. That was one of the British kings.
oh, that's
Sorry,
awesome.
English kings.
Well, so I don't know. I do remember when we went to Canada. All those speed limits are in kilometers an hour,
Yeah.
and and so you get there and you think, oh, all right, 110, I can take this, and then you realize that's like 7 miles an hour. So it was,
110. It's 65 miles an hour
yeah, it just felt really slow. Didn't
because
feel
they
like
have
what
better
110
roads.
felt
You're
like.
not used to having good roads in your neck of the woods.
No, that's true.
It,
I mean,
as if you
I've
can
lived.
drive without any gas.
Well, I have gas, so I went to.
Did you do the garbage bag thing?
No, no, no. So I went. I was just Tuesday morning. I was just out taking the kids to school. I was like, oh, I need gas. So I went to stop. I was like, I got there. I was like, what the hell's going on? Why is
Yeah,
everybody doing this?
yeah.
And and then my wife went to get gas like later in the morning, and it already jumped up like 30 cents.
So I just me when I'm normally in Seattle, I don't get your complaints about gas being $3 a gallon. I've been paying $3.70 forever.
Well, but I've got we've completely given up on any sort of environmental thing here. So if nothing else, I should at least reap the benefits of cheap gas.
Sure, you selfish whatever.
Hey, I would love for things to change, but they've also our governor here in South Carolina just decided he was going to he told all the kids that they don't have to wear masks in school anymore. But whatever. Mm-hmm. So of course we told our son, we're like, you should probably still keep that on. Well, one of his friends is making fun of him for it now. He's 7. These are 7-year-olds.
Punch him. Punch him. Just slap the living crap out of him. Punch him.
Well, I guess that only happens once. But I don't know. He came home yesterday. He's all upset. And he's like, blah, blah, blah is making fun of me. And I was like, well, look, man, don't worry about it. Like, his parents are idiots. That's fine. Like, just don't tell him that. But, because they, there's like 15 days of school left. There are 2 or 3 weeks left. It's literally nothing. And yet, here we are.
So let me put it this way. As someone who had multiple bullies throughout my school years, the only thing that works on a bully is just punching them. Only thing that ever worked. Any kind of reasoning, trying to hold out until you basically put some resistance, it doesn't work. I've had bullies throughout most of my teams. Nothing else worked. That's my experience.
I had a lot of bullies, but I didn't fight many of them. But they never left me alone. Maybe that's why.
Yeah, the thing is, after basically because they start thinking you're freaking crazy, so they don't want to break you.
Oh yeah. I can see that. Yeah,
because
that'd be cool.
At some point, you just snap.
Yeah, no, I guess it's true. I don't know. He's 7 though. He's so innocent. I don't want to go in there and be like, look, like you got to throw him up if you're gonna get this kid off of you. I don't know.
I don't know either. It's people. There are people smarter than we are. That's why I probably will never have kids, because I would be a bad parent. I'm all about, hey, just find your true self, and if your true self is a prick, just embrace it.
See, that's what I don't want my son to grow up and find out that he is in fact a prick like his dad, and thus try to embrace it. It's like, all right, we gotta keep that from happening.
Sailed, I think, if he's spending so much time with you, it's gone.
I mean, I've been stuck in my basement for 14, 15 months now. So the last time I was on a plane was February 27th of 2020.
Yeah. For me, it was a few months ago, but yeah,
well,
it wasn't pleasant.
True. I'll be back on one this summer though, to go to Michigan, because we drove last summer, and driving with 800 miles with 3 kids. I mean, I'll give the kids credit. They were pretty good, but 14, 15 hours in the car is just not conducive to children. So
nope.
Anyway, so all right. Couple announcements, some news that came out over the week. I guess a lot of this is going to be talked about next week at RSA too. So, lots of new things went into preview, and lots of new things are now GA. In fact, we're going to look at one
bigger,
of these.
Man. Just control scroll. Dude, it's too tiny. Yeah.
Okay. So, new things in preview, new things in GA. The one we're going to look at today is Azure AD login with Linux VMs. So, you could do this before, but now it's changed, and so now it's better. So we're going to look at that today, and some other things GA too. The Windows login for Azure AD. So Windows VM login, which I didn't even know that was in preview. Yep. It seems like it went directly to GA.
Because it worked only on Server 2019, and it's a very narrow scope. So
yeah. So, which I think would be kind of nice, though, especially you look at WVD, things like that. Once that sort of becomes a scenario, I think that'll be really useful.
The WVD scenario is a few months away, specifically. We are self-hosting it. We are in this. We internally in Microsoft, we have our own WVD farm. So we, as part of Identity, we can go into the cloud-native WVD farm today. It kind of works. We have some things to figure out, but it's looking real nice. It's been announced at Ignite, so we're not spilling any secrets here. So
Yeah, it seems like it because right now it's like you got to have a domain or you got to stand up DS, and it's like a
Yeah,
lot of
and
work. Like I just need a VM. I don't need to do all this. There's just all this drama to make WVD work, and you would think it's Windows as a service. It really shouldn't be that difficult.
yeah, you probably have seen the rumors about Cloud PC. So. So
Remember
Mary
years?
Jo Foley, she spoke about Cloud PC in her summary for 2020, something to look forward in 2021.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how it's progressing, but from what I read on ZDNet, that's the only information I have. It looks exciting, Cloud PC.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool. I mean, I did some work with a customer years ago on Intune and Autopilot and all that sort of stuff, and it was pretty amazing. And because they were deploying Windows 10 Enterprise, like IoT Enterprise, out to minefields, miners, not children, miners, like people digging in the earth. I mean, maybe they were children digging in the earth. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure they weren't. But that was the whole thing was, well, let's use autopilot. So when they drop the thing, they plug it in and then away it goes. The machine provisions itself, it connects, it does everything. And then they use,
Cool.
and then people enroll and log in. Yeah, it's pretty cool stuff. So, yeah, so all these things are now GA. I mean, a lot of this is conditional access stuff, right? Which I'm not,
Yes.
I do a little bit with, but not nearly as probably as much as I should. So,
just turn on security default and move on with your life.
So the GPS thing as a new one.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty cool because
You need to have authenticator on your phone. An authenticator basically grabs your location and puts it as a signal for conditional access.
No, that's cool because before it was just IP based, right?
Yep.
So you could fairly easily get around it with VPN or whatever.
We have a couple of customers asking that if my user leaves my country, leaves our sovereign soil, they should immediately lose access to our resources.
Interesting.
That was the main use case scenario. Of course, crazy Europeans figured that one out.
Well, I saw too where yesterday there was an announcement that went out about conditional or continuous access evaluation is going to start to be enabled in the next couple of weeks.
Yes, and my baby.
Presumably, nobody should really see any change, right? I mean, with the exception of longer token lifetimes, but even that, I mean, this is a pretty limited set of apps that.
Yeah,
to start,
it requires client app to do the claims challenge, right? If you type into Google or DuckDuckGo, continuous access evaluation, client-side resiliency, basically our MSAL apps will have that flipped on with the update of MSAL that will come out in June.
Oh, that's cool. All right.
And resources are for Exchange Online, SharePoint Online, so you connect to Exchange Web Services, SharePoint Online specific RESTful APIs, Teams, and MS Graph.
So Graph is in there.
Graph is basically ready. We just need to update because PowerShell, if PowerShell doesn't do it, or Azure command line interface doesn't do it, so it's kind of meh.
Oh yeah, I can see that being a problem. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, that's cool. So and then there's also attribute-based access control. So this came out a couple of days ago too. Yesterday, actually.
Yep.
Storage is the first thing to get it, but it's cool because you get to make you make decisions based on attributes, membership, and so it's a pretty cool thing. We'll look at that probably sometime next week. But I know we had a lot of people who were trying to do things like. This specific container needs to be accessed by specific users or sets of users or specific service principals and things. And so,
and it went into wrapping those principles into some kind of a group, and then the group delays, replication delays, and no nesting, and it became a kind of a kerfuffle.
Yeah. So this is cool. We'll dig into that, but storage, I guess, is the thing to start. But other services are going to pick that up too. So that's pretty cool.
Yep.
Okay. So I'm going to go over. Let's go look at this VM. Let's go look at this VM thing in Azure AD VM. So previously on Linux VMs, you could enable this, but it was basically device code. So you would hit device code and then
Yep.
And then it would go. This seems a little bit more robust, so you can access it through the through Azure CLI and through Cloud
Mm-hmm.
Shell, which I'm going to go do. I'm going to go do now. So let's get a new Linux VM. Let's see. We'll call this Linux VM AAD, and you can do all this through Cloud Shell too. So
I must say I'm a little bit disappointed that you don't have a GitHub repo with that template and just click the button deploy to Azure. I'm disappointed.
well, I mean, we could do it through CLI. It's just kind of a pain.
I just like
So
having them on GitHub. I just like having the button deploy to Azure than when it just feeds that JSON. And
I know, but you have to write the JSON.
now you just go to resources Azure.com. You copy the JSON from that page of already existing template, and you just paste. Dude, I'm copy paste master. That's how I got my master's degree, literally.
But like 90% of the resources, it's like, oh, well, we couldn't export this one thing, or we couldn't export this one property, or this product doesn't have anything. So you never get like a properly usable template. You still have to go through and work. I mean, I'll do it after I deploy this one. How about that?
Yeah. Or you can just buy Terraform and do Terraform.
Oh God, no.
Like a regular CDI. CI/CD. Sorry.
I guess we could do Bicep at some point, but yeah. Anyway, I'm going to use a spot instance because I'm cheap. So spot instances are great unless you're doing demos with them, in which case it's not necessarily that great. A couple weeks ago, we had a Visual Studio VM we were using for this, and it kept on shutting off on us because it kept on getting evicted. So, so I need so I'm just gonna use like just a key pair that's in here, and that way we don't have to worry about any sort of conflict with my existing keys that are out there. So we'll do a D2S, which is cool because it's 3 cents an hour, 3.2 cents an hour. So if our spot instance ran all year long or all month long, which it may or may not do just by virtue of its spottiness, it would only be $24, which isn't too bad for 2 cores and 8 gigs of memory. So it's pretty cheap.
As soon as you start running your Fortnite or Minecraft server on it, you will start paying bandwidth costs as well.
Yeah. Okay, I'm just going to use a standard SSD because, again, cheap, and I don't really need any disk. Networking's all fine. That's all good. Whatever. So then in management, this is where we get our login with Azure AD preview, right? And you'll notice it mentions
it didn't disappear yet.
So, well, this one is in preview. The Linux one's still in preview. Windows is, I think Windows is GA, but Linux is still in preview. Yeah. And it requires a system assigned managed identity, so it's going to turn that on for you too. And you can't turn it off because you need that for Azure AD to work. And then I'll do auto shutdown at 7 o'clock for me, so that I don't forget to delete it or don't forget to keep it on. But other than that, that's it. So we check this box. And you notice it tells us we got to go add ourselves to an RBAC role, which we're going to do. And then that's it. Review, create. We should have us a VM here in just a couple minutes. You have SSH ports open to the internet. Something didn't like something.
What did you break?
I don't know. Let's see. Failed validation. The requested size is not available.
In that geo, you change the data center.
Yep. All right. So let's go back. Let's choose. Well, I'll just pick a different size.
I would just do West US 2.
West US, but I don't live in West US.
But it's always the emptiest.
The emptiest. Well, how about East US?
Or East US 2, yeah.
I'll do East 2. It was funny because East 2 was the thing that was always getting full a long time ago.
Yeah.
And
just put one in Canada.
I mean, I'm sure there's a Canada region fairly close to me. Yeah. Okay, so that's still checked. So
there will be one in Poland, I found out recently.
Oh, nice. Oh, still failing. Still can't get that size. Interesting. I've never had so many sizes go. Never had so many sizes be unavailable before. So let's try. Let's see. Let's sort by. Oh, so these eviction rates are really high. So why don't we'll use the what is this, like an A Yeah, D2AS4. Let's use this one because it's got a super low eviction rate, and it's still kind of red though, which is making me a little nervous. What does the red mean?
It's
I
unavailable
wonder.
in that
You would think
region.
it would be you would think it'd be a little bit more prominent to tell us like, hey, this isn't available. And
Yeah,
then
especially if you are colorblind, right?
yeah, a message would be nice. So US East 2, yeah, that all looks good. I mean,
Oh man, Blast from the Past A series.
let's try I can't believe like I can't seem to get a VM today. Look at these eviction rates. These are crazy. I guess these are all the most popular VM sizes. That's probably why.
Yep. Not supported
So,
in that Geo A.
well, those are premium disk. Premium disk not supported, which is fine because
Yeah,
I'm using a
A.
standard
Yep.
SSD. So I'll do a, I don't know, whatever. We can do an A4 maybe. That's fine. We'll see if our A4 is available. Well, I guess not. I wonder why none of these SKUs are available for me. Is something wrong with my subscription? Maybe I'll stop. Let me just skip spot instances. Maybe that's my problem. Maybe it's a spot problem. All right. So all that looks good. All that looks fine. Okay. Try to review and create this again. Validation passed. Okay. I guess maybe I just can't use the spot right now. I don't know. Okay.
Yeah, the thing is, MSDN subscriptions are always a little bit to the side, right? Because they are
That's
not
true.
technically paid SKUs.
Yeah, they are always kind of yeah. So okay, I'm gonna grab this private key, even though ideally we won't need it.
By the way, did you turn on your clipboard memory on Windows?
I don't know. Let's
Windows
see.
V?
I
Yeah.
did.
Dude, it's the best thing. When I found it out, it's the best thing.
And it looks like the emoji picker and stuff is all right in here too.
Yeah. Really?
So
So
from
are you on...
from the same place, which is nice.
For me, it isn't yet because I'm not on the build. I didn't do 21H1 yet.
Oh, okay. I have no idea what build I'm on. I'm on 21.382.
I don't know the build numbers. It's only crazy people know what RS1 and RS3 is.
Yeah, I don't know any of that. Okay, so VM's cruising. So while this is going, let's see, is the compute up yet? No, it doesn't look like it. Let's go to the resource group and take a look.
So I will block you from accessing that Azure login in conditional access first.
All right. So while I've got my VM, we have to add ourselves a role. So this is kind of neat. I think it's also probably going to be a bit confusing, but in our VM itself, there's access control, IAM, and just like IAM and every other Azure resource. So if we were to add a new role assignment, we're going to have a new role assignment type called virtual machine administrator and virtual machine user. So we've got a virtual machine administrator login, and I'll just choose, I guess I'll just use myself for now. So there I am. Looks like the VM is up, so we'll save this. So now I'm in this virtual machine admin login. So you can see kind of where like an administrator or some sort of automated deployment or pipeline gets these VMs out there with some sort of a private key, perhaps that's controlled by a central group or central networking or whatever, and you just assign RBAC because nobody's going to have the private key. Nobody's going to have the sort of main private key.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm in here now. So now I should be able to go over to Cloud Shell, and we should be able to connect to this. So
when do you want me to block you with conditional access?
Not yet.
Okay.
let me make sure it works first, right?
So let me put it on. Let me put it on the off stage, and I will flip it on.
All right.
Okay.
So there's AZSSH. So in the Azure CLI, there's AZSSH, which is an extension. So if it's not installed, it's already installed in Cloud Shell. But if you've got Azure CLI, you'll have to install that too. It's AZ extension add -- name.
So you press the
SSH.
thing in the portal, right? You just press the thing on the top of the portal next to the tenant picker.
Yep. So you can just go to Cloud Shell here, and get a bash prompt or PowerShell or whatever here. So we've got one. I'm just going to take what. Actually, I'm going to take this. I'm going to take what we have, and we're going to go run it.
Cool.
All right. So if we paste this, now this is going to fail the first time because it says we don't have a token from local cache. So while this is in preview, you have to do an AZ login first. And it's going to give you kind of a message like, yeah, you sure you want to do that? But sadly, we do have to do that right now.
Yep.
So you got to do an AZ login to start. So we'll go over to device login. And I will get signed in.
Your DPI is just crazy. I thought people your age have problem with eyesight.
My age. I'm not that old yet. I mean, I'm on the back half of life, but because I was what 36, so I don't, I mean, granted, I'm 36 and like smoke and all this other stuff, so I'm probably
it's funny
past
because we're
midlife.
exactly the same age, which is pretty hilarious coming from me.
Thanks for that. Pretty hilarious coming from me. Okay. I don't know what you're implying, but I'm gonna act like I didn't hear it. Okay. So we did an AZ login. I logged in with the account that we just gave access to. And of course we see all the subscriptions it's got access to. So now in theory, we should be able to do an SSH to this now, and it says, yeah, and sure enough, there we are, and we're in. So
can you sue yourself? Sudo.
Sorry?
Can you sudo yourself?
Let's see. I can.
And it didn't ask you for any kind of re-authentication, which is pretty interesting.
Yep. So I can sudo su. Now, I believe let's log out here. Of course, you notice too, it's got my UPN there. So I'm going to log out. I'm going to go change my role on this VM.
That's what I was thinking, right?
So the roles that we have, let's look at the current role assignments. So the current role assignments we have, the one that we're interested in is VM administrator login. So I'm going to remove myself from that. So now I am not in here at all. Now, I don't know how long this is going to take to go, but I may have to do AZ login again, but let's see.
You might have to refresh your tokens.
Yeah. So let me get out of the VM, and we'll do another. Let me see. We'll do an AZ account clear, and then we'll do an AZ login. Okay. So I'll get logged in here again. And there it is. So log in. Yep. There's my account. Cool. So now I'm signed back in. So let's see if my role change has already happened or not. And it looks like it hasn't. So because I'm still able to log in, at least for now.
Yeah.
So there's another role here, which is virtual machine contributor or virtual machine user, and virtual machine user should not be able to sudo.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put myself there, and let's see. I don't know if I'll be able to do this with this Cloud Shell being so tall. So we get my user in here, and I am now going to be a member of virtual machine user login. So save that one. Okay, and log out.
If it's using managed identity, so it might cache tokens for 24 hours.
Yeah. Well, I'm doing an AZ login, however, which would override the identity I get through Cloud Shell, because that's where that
MSI underneath it is doing on behalf of MSI tokens live for 24 hours.
Yeah, I guess it's true. So maybe this will take a while, and maybe it won't matter. But I guess we'll see. It's better to know than to guess. So sign in again, and now signed in again. So let me see if we can sudo. But you're probably right. It probably will be something that, like, if I come back tomorrow, let's see.
Yeah, or Yep.
Then that's an interesting question too about conditional access. So at what point would conditional access take effect?
So let's check. Let me turn on the policy.
All right. What policy?
Because I straight up have a control that is block access for JP for Azure Linux for an app that is called Linux Azure Login.
You want to share your screen?
Let me find it because I'm on different PC. aka.ms. Mm-hmm. Yep, give me a sec.
So then I wonder too, like, Cloud Shell doesn't run on my machine, right? It's just running on a container. It's just running on a container up in Azure. And so I wonder how things like location and all that work, or if they would even work in Cloud Shell.
Let's see. We can only know by trying, right?
Yep.
Okay. You should start seeing. You should be able to add my join stream. There we go.
Cool. So have you do you have the policy in?
Yes, you can. Yeah, I'm sharing my screen. You can show it to people. I'm showing the policy. You can add it in the studio. There we go.
You get to zoom it in though. So you've got a. So you were my all-seeing administrator, right?
Yes, I'm a global admin in your tenant. So I just made sure that JP trying to access Azure Linux VM sign-in always, forever and ever. So no other conditions. First, I wanted to just screw you up a little bit, but I said, why not? Let's just say that JP doesn't know what he's doing with Linux, and let's just block him. And let's turn on your policy.
These are probably true things, to be quite honest.
I'm just being straight up mean.
So what does your policy do? Is it just straight up block me entirely?
Yeah. Block you from accessing Linux VM sign-in app. So your AZ login will work because you're just accessing Graph. You're getting a Graph access token, and then the thing that will happen underneath you trying to get access token for the VM sign-in, basically transition your identities, you should get blocked.
Okay. All right. So let me log in here.
So let's switch the screens on stream so people can see what you're doing.
All right. So let's get signed in again. So back to sign in. Here's my code. Okay, so now I'm signed back in, and we get logged in again. All right, so if I try to do an AZ VM, so we were doing AZ SSH VM. I'm going to put a debug at the end so we can see what it's doing. We'll scroll back up and see. So, okay, so I can still get in for now. So if we look at what happened when we did that, let's see. So where does it actually go and get our tokens? So there's our SSH. So it's generating us essentially a temporary key, and it's trying to read the access tokens file, which presumably gets dropped when we do AZ login. So it is looking for something in the cache. It found some stuff in the cache. And it looks like it got the token out of cache.
Yeah, that's why.
So
because it lives, your access token for the thing lives for 1 hour plus minus 30 minutes, right? Because we have the stagger now. So
what if I just went and removed temp access tokens.json? So let's see, access tokens. So access tokens is not there.
Okay.
All right. So now we have no cache. Now, I don't know if that's going to cause the whole thing to break regardless, but
Yeah, it will ask you to log in again.
okay. So it says so we can't get one from local cache. Okay, so let's do an AZ login. Essentially, clearing the cache is pretty much the same thing as logging out, right?
Yep.
So device
Christos has
login.
entered the house. How's everyone?
God damn it.
Wait a minute. Are you replacing me? I'm gone for a couple of hours and you're already replacing me? What is
The
this?
consolation prize.
I see how it is, JP. I see how it is. You know, man, my seat was not even called. God damn it, man. Although, you know, if someone is going to replace me, I think you chose.
But
the
you
right person.
you don't know anything about conditional access though, and Daniel does.
True that. That's why I said he's a
we
worthy
will see
replacement.
if I know anything. We'll see if I was able to block JP from breaking his Linux VM.
Oh, what are you guys doing? Is the new stuff?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we logged in. So okay. So we cleared token cache. We logged in again. We tried to connect, and this time now we definitely did not get in. But let's see why we didn't get in. So it's trying to get a token from cache.
It's not there's nothing in cache. It's behaving nicely because so new connection. It's doing the authorization code flow.
Ah, there we go. Access has been blocked by conditional access policies. So I guess
now it works.
But then that also means that would presumably that would mean I can't access any Linux VM.
Any Linux VM. Nope. So because the thing is, you can think of it like that's why the Linux sign in from Linux app in conditional access is just a first front gate. You can think of as your Azure real estate as a campus, right?
Yeah.
Conditional access is just the guard in front of the campus on the first gate.
Yeah.
So we need to get in and we will say, hey, am I allowed to go into specific buildings that are specific Linux VMs? That's where RBAC comes in. That's where you set up your roles. So when you get in, you will get specific contributor role or not.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But the conditional access is the front gate with a very nasty, broad controls. You can either get in, is the bouncer, is the initial bouncer going to the bar, and then you will get carded at the bar because I'm changing metaphors in the middle.
So, so could you now? So you could also change for me to have certain requirements, right?
Yep.
So
I can straight up say you need to be coming
or...
from a compliant device, and it will not work because it's derived from device code flow. I can say that you can do it, but only on a specific network, right?
Yeah.
So if you give me your public IP address, I can put an exception in that policy.
Well, see, I'm not coming from my machine though. I'm coming from Cloud Shell. Oh. So my IP, so this IP is going to change all the time. Now, that's not to say, however,
type in ifconfig.
Well, hang on. Well, yeah. So I know we have one here, right? So
if Cloud Shell ifconfig, basically that's the IP address we'll see.
Mm-hmm. Well, so if we look at the last, it'll tell us the IP is a public one, but right now it's a 10.
I would do curl to what's my IP. You will not have
Yeah, 52.186.28.152. Now, I can also do it from my local machine, though, right?
Yep.
In which case, I would be coming from my public IP. So,
yes, sir.
Let's do an AZ. I'll do an AZ login on here.
So you want me to add an IP to an exception, right?
Yep. You can add this one that you see on my screen if you can see it on my screen.
You jerks and your high resolution screens.
I know.
I need to add a name location.
He operates at 4K natively. I don't know how he can see
4K
that.
natively without DPI, dude. I'm coming to you from a Surface Book. It's 4K as well, but I'm doing 200% DPI.
But it's 27 inches and it's like this far from my face.
Yeah.
It's like 2 inches or 2 feet away, a foot away. I mean, it's not hard to see. Whatever. There's just so much more real estate, you know. Okay, so let me log into. I'm going to log into my account.
I need to create. So if you want to show people what I'm doing to add a location exception, you might flip the screen. You might want to flip the screens, right?
All right.
So I need to exclude JP's place from policies, from controls. I need to add JP's place as a location because everything is an object in Azure, right? So I can create JP's place. Right, I will mark JP's place as a trusted location because we trust JP, even though I don't know if we should. And dictate the IP address, please.
208
208
104
104
145
145
212.
212 by 32 because we want to allow only one.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. There might even already be one in there. That might be what HQ is. I don't know. Unless you just created that one. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Okay. So now you've got my location via IP, right?
So block JP on Linux. So because that control is applied wholesale, to create an exception, I go into conditions, and in locations, I configure locations, include any location in the block, except
nice.
JP's place. So block will apply everywhere except at JP's place.
Except there. Okay.
Yes.
So from back in, so once you save this, is
it only JP? Is it only JP blocked on any Linux machine? Is that the conditional access right now?
I'm blocking only JP because JP is too dangerous to have so much power.
He's got too much power. We need to control it.
So first I'll remove our access tokens again. I mean, it shouldn't really matter, but just for the sake of, we'll do an AZ login. So AZ login code. So now I'm signed back in. And now when I try to connect from here, I should be blocked, presumably because of the block hasn't really changed. Block hasn't changed for me. Oh, it did work though. I wonder if does it know my Cloud Shell IP address? Or does it know from where I'm connecting to Cloud Shell? Or actually, no, I wonder if these don't apply to that. Although you would think it'd only be device things.
Let's see. I can go into audit logs and I will tell you what IP did we see.
Yes.
All right, let's go look at audit logs and see.
I hear that when Stefan cheated on me with Krista, so you were going through those. Now I know how it feels. No.
Hey, wait a minute. I told you up front and I asked permission to be you on the stream. You jumped on the stream. I was caught by surprise. Like, what is this? I've already been replaced.
I know.
You know what it is? I was up front, man. I came to you. Or you came to me.
Okay, I think my PIM might have expired.
Oh. What?
I mean, it's only been, I guess it has been 40.
It's been an hour, buddy.
Has it been an hour?
Yeah.
I thought you said that was the first thing you were going to change. Was the PIM duration.
You started talking and you sweet talked me into forgetting it.
Yeah, JP has that effect on us. Sweet talking us.
So you've got to go re-elevate. I mean, you're welcome to change it to be longer than an hour.
No, it just looks fine. We're just being particularly slow, probably.
Okay. But you're also on the other side of the earth, so.
JavaGran says JP is a hacker. You just got socialized. As in social engineered? Probably.
Yeah, probably.
That's how JP gets access to everything. By sweet talking his way in.
Yeah. Everybody knows that.
It's just so slow today. I have no idea. So let's do it in a different way, because if we want to filter, I like doing it this way, because I like looking at sign-ins for a specific user.
Okay. You could probably trim that from last 24 hours too, to like what, last hour?
Yes. Good point.
Doesn't help, honestly. I don't want to type in that.
Check out that granularity. 1 month, 7 days, or 24 hours. Love that.
Well, Daniel is
there's something going on with Azure today.
Of course.
Is it just you? Requests are throttled. Ooh.
Yeah, I think Graph is having issues today. I already saw a couple of support cases. Because it's pulling from MS Graph. There is nothing special with that API.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's nothing. Shouldn't be anything super specific about it.
True.
Yep.
Wow.
You see that you did some eligibility.
Oh, is that it?
No, it was I went into
On
audits.
sign-ins.
Yeah.
You broke it. You broke it.
No. Yeah.
Java Grant says CDC said if you're vaccinated, you can deploy on Friday. Anyone doing deployments today?
I deployed a VM today that I can't get access to.
You got the
No,
access.
That's true. That's true. I
Well,
guess I do
actually,
have
you
the
got access
but-
that you shouldn't have access to.
Yeah. I don't know. There is something wrong with going on with either your
So-
tenant or.
So back in your policy.
Yes, sir.
Oh, so yeah, you don't have permission now. So now your PIM has expired.
Oh.
Oh, I never knew that's how you got to it. I had to pin it to the side because I had no idea how to get to it. It's in
Identity
governance.
Azure AD roles, my roles.
What a strange way to get there. I usually go to what was that other thing? Security, maybe? I don't remember.
I think it's on the
Seems to
security.
show up
If
on
you
the
haven't noticed, I'm a kind of a strange guy, so.
I didn't want to say that out loud,
uh,
but you fell into the trap.
give me, I wanna.
Are you activating against yourself? Do you need to approve yourself for that?
No, JP didn't go with approvals. The role assignment
didn't.
already exists.
I didn't do
Okay.
approvals. I just did
When does it expire? It expires in 9 minutes.
9 minutes.
Wow.
Okay.
So
Go for
You've
it.
got 9 so we've got 9 minutes to
we
fix
still have
the,
9 minutes left, and then I'm nuking myself out of the oblivion. So
Hey, Trooper. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are.
yeah, it's slow today. I saw already a couple of cases.
I wonder if I can see.
Yeah, give it a go.
Because at the end of the day, what should have happened, if JP is let in, it means he met that condition somehow. So if an Azure resource has a private link from the place you're connecting from, it will pass on all the X forwarded for. That's why you might sometimes, if you enable on an Azure VM, you enable the ACL class of Azure Active Directory, the public endpoint, you will see public IPv6 addresses in there. Even though they are coming from, you will see IPv6 addresses of a VM specifically, even though technically Azure AD doesn't support IPv6.
Nice.
Login MicrosoftOnline.com doesn't have IPv6 endpoints.
So
But if you load through private link, it does.
So this is saying that if we block access, this is saying essentially block access from any location except my home, right?
Yes.
Or the
Except your specific JP's place pub location. Yep.
So that policy should be, I mean, that seems to be the correct policy, right?
Yes, sir.
I wonder why I can still get a token for it. It seems a little.
So you're logged into Azure and use Cloud Shell and you were able to get the token? Is that what
Yes.
you're saying?
It looks like Cloud Shell passes along JP's public IP address with the request.
Oh, it could be.
If it passes along because Cloud Shell does X forwarded for, it might be passing along your public IP address as one of the things.
Oh no, it's blocked now. No, it definitely
What?
is blocked now. Here, let me switch it. Maybe it just took it a minute. So I tried to. So I
Between
didn't.
changes, you mean?
So yeah, so access has been blocked. Access has been blocked by conditional access, which is what we expect because I'm
Yep.
not. This isn't coming from my machine.
Yep.
So that should be correct. So if I come from my machine now, so this is just SSH on my machine, right?
So for people that don't know, if I were using MSAL with .NET or JavaScript, would I get the exact same exception when I went to authenticate?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's basically the token endpoint returns you that message.
Yes.
Because what happened is if JP were to scroll up, he would see that he's posting to a token endpoint with a specific app ID, and that app ID happens to be the confidential app for Azure Linux VM sign-in.
Right.
Yep. So let me try it now from my machine here. This is my machine here at the house. I'll do a debug so we can see what it's doing. So pretty much the same command. I'm already signed in. And it looks like I got my token. So it's working because I'm coming from my
Nice.
house, which is great. So that's cool.
Sweet.
Nice.
So basically, the bouncer let you in because you had us because you looked nice. They liked your shoes.
He sweet talked his way into. He social engineered his way into the club.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
But remember, that's where you have RBAC on a VM. So if you try to buy a drink, the bartender will card you to see if you're 21.
If you
That's
set
where Azure RBAC
RBAC,
comes in.
but only if you set
Conditional access
RBAC.
is a bouncer.
Yeah.
RBAC on an Azure VM is bartender carding you to see if you could buy a drink.
I will just sudo my way into that. Ha.
So now we also put ourselves into the. I believe we are in.
The non-sudo thing. You shouldn't be able to sudo yourself.
Yeah. So let's see. That's
Contributors
owner, reader.
Oh, did
user
you add
access.
RBAC permissions to the VM as well?
You have to. Yeah, in the new thing you have to.
What new
Yeah.
thing? The one that we're talking about today, right?
Yes.
Yes.
The one that went out with the RSA announcements.
Yes.
Yeah. So
There are-
virtual machine user login. I thought I was already in this role, but let's make sure. So we'll save this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm already in that role. So I should be only a user in here. I should not be part of sudoers.
Yep.
So let's try to SU and
Hack it.
Oh,
Mr.
look at
Hacker
that.
Man. Hack it.
I have to go sign in again.
Yeah, you got access denied. So PAM modules, natural reaction. Basically, you have to when you are not on the list of sudoers, you have to re-authenticate, right? So you have to re-authenticate with a device code with a user that is in the sudo list.
Yep.
Do you have
So
a
it's
user
saying-
that is in the sudo list?
Sorry?
Do you have a user that is in the sudo list?
Well, my user was in the sudo list until I took myself out of the role, the
Right.
Azure RBAC role that reflected that.
Ah.
Yep.
And this is still going to the wrong tenant, of course, because that would be too easy. So you'll be signed in to the remote device or service with this specific IP. Okay, next. And then I don't know why it keeps taking me to this tenant. So let me use a different one. So
That's why you should have profiles in your browsers.
I do
Every
have
single
profiles
test
in my
user has a
browser.
profile.
Yes.
I
but
do
you never
have
use
them.
Use them.
Oh, I do use them. Here we go. Here we are.
There you
now
go.
I'm in my test one. All right.
Well,
Yeah,
he
each
uses
one's
them when he
different.
remembers to use them because he gets stuck by the wrong tenant redirect.
Yeah, and then you run you run in incognito mode. Yep. Your account cannot access Azure VM sign-in from that specific IP. When you click more details, this is your IP address.
Oh, so I can't. I see. So I can't access sign-in because the VM's IP is where I am attempting to log in,
Mm-hmm.
and because I'm not a member of sudoers, I also am being reprompted to log in.
Yep.
But now I can also not log in anyway because I am not because of the IP.
Because you
restriction.
are basically doing device code for a session that lives inside of a VM. So all policies are evaluated as if you were running a browser inside of that
Inside.
Linux VM.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Nice.
Really
Nice.
cool, right? Basically, we are lying inside of the request because your browser is rendered on a different IP.
Yeah,
And when we
that's
get
pretty
our
cool.
stuff together and we do it through Azure Arc, it's going to get even better.
Damn.
That's pretty cool. I like that.
How is Bastion coming into this one? Have we had to update Bastion as well? Support this?
No clue.
No clue. Okay.
I don't
that-
use Bastion. I use
I don't-
when I have to unblock my VM, I just go to what's my IP and I add myself to an ACL on a VM manually.
Yeah, I don't
Dude,
have a.
That's
my
your
VMs
homework.
Are still my test VMs are still in ASM.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I
Wow.
created them
Wow.
in 2016. My Active Directory forest lives in there. My test environment has been alive since 2016.
Just
ASM.
reimage them and then push them into the latest VMs.
I have site-to-site VPN between ASM VNet and ARM VNet. So now I have another domain controller and do some magic with VNet peering, but that ASM environment is not going anywhere. You cannot migrate it to ARM anymore because it's too old.
It expired, my
You have
friend.
to
I had
export
a-
drives and import them into a VM, and it becomes an entire shit show.
I had hosted services for a long time. I still miss them. I would still actually I'd still like to deploy them, but
Yeah.
What services?
I hosted services, cloud
Oh,
services. They're
cloud
so much
services,
better.
yes.
So much better than what we have today.
pfeninja.cloudapp.net. I still have it. I used to be a PFE and I bought myself pfe.ninja domain.
Power to PFEs, my friend. I used to be a
Yes,
PFE as
they
well.
don't exist anymore.
Nope.
PFE doesn't exist. It's customer engineer these days.
That's right.
We're part of the past.
So, yeah, my tenant's quite old. 23rd May. My tenant, we're going to celebrate his 8th birthday in a week. And I have not synced from on-prem since 2017. I switched to cloud only. I was like, oh, what
Sounds
a pain!
about right.
This is such a pain trying to do this. I can't seem to get my sign-in logs either. So something must
could
be
be
going
graph.
on. But
Maybe
anyway.
they're deploying some graph goodness for in preparation for build.
Probably the preview is getting flipped on by default.
It could be.
The one that does
Yeah.
non-interactive sign-ins and managed identity sign-ins and everything.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean the new stuff that is coming out.
It's been out since November. The preview that you can see MSI sign-ins, refresh token activity,
Oh, I see.
and all that stuff. Probably it's flipping on by default.
Cool.
Nice. Well, anyway, so that's cool. So you can sign into Azure VMs via Azure AD. So you'll do SSH that way. You can do this with Windows too. Although I had some trouble when I was trying to do Windows ones earlier, so I'm not going to dig into it today. But
the requirements for Windows Remote Desktop with Azure AD Join are kind of strict still. That your machines have to be joined and properly registered with PRTs and everything. To both client and server need to be in the same tenant exactly.
yeah.
So what I'm hearing is that Linux is a lot easier to manage with Azure AD, and Microsoft Windows is more tricky, even though Windows is
You
first
go
party.
where the people are, right? There are more Linux machines than Windows machines in Azure, so.
Oh, we have a question. The real question about Azure AD login. Does it work with two-factor authentication? Hilariously,
Yes.
my coworker has an open support ticket to ask about this. Make it work for us on Linux.
It should
Linux.
work. The thing is, it's the device auth code flow, right? Basically, when you try to sign in, it will interrupt you that you have to do MFA. So
As long as it's been set up on the tenant, right? To request two-factor authentication. Yeah.
You the app that I selected to block JP as one of the controls instead of block, I can say require MFA, and then basically it will say, hey, do the device auth code again in your browser to do MFA in there.
Do you still have it up?
Coding.
Can you go set that? Can you go set that policy?
Yeah. Let me share my screen again.
Don't be just words. Show us.
Oh, sorry, not this button. This one.
I can share. You go and do your stuff. I'll share your screen.
I removed it because I didn't want to. I need to now because it's past the time. I have to PIM again.
God. Let's decide. I think side gives us more real estate.
So I gave him access, but I didn't give him standing access. So
He has to go activate. Good.
Has to go activate every time. Well, I mean, what's the biggest complaint about Microsoft? Do as I say, not as I do. So I figured we might as well do as we do for this one, and as we say. So, and you can change it though to longer than an hour because the hour is kind of.
But I don't feel like it. It's just.
I love your comments, by the way. DFG, DFGC.
Give me Iwana, right? That was the previous one. Basically, it's for auditing purposes. As we saw, the auditing doesn't work, so why should I bother?
Yeah, pretty much.
Wayne Monroe says he was also PFE. PFE forever, my friend. Trooper always MFA. Yeah. I would love to see a whitelist sign-up process for user flows to limit who can sign up. What? No, that's different. That's different comment.
Technically, you can use external identities with Sisu on your Azure Linux login app. But the thing is, if user tries to sign up, they will be missing ARM permissions on a VM. So you have a chicken and the egg situation in the if you want to do JIT sign up with external identities.
Nice.
But the thing is, that policy for MFA will not do much because you already have a policy that requires MFA for everybody in the tenant.
So I should do it from a. Do I have it? And I haven't excluded myself. Well,
Let's see how bad you've been. Okay. Let's grant access with MFA. Select. Save.
So now we've gone from block everything except a location to grant
Require
everyone
MFA on everywhere except the location. Yes.
Okay.
All users, all apps. What's the condition? Oh, okay. This one should be not configured, but
It's old. Remember, it's been around a long time.
Let's turn it off. No.
Well, now I guess that's true. So part of it could be that I'm not like in a private window or anything. So I suspect that.
Yeah, you
has
already
something
have
to
your
do with it.
tokens, right? You already have your MFA tokens because you signed in with MFA. You will not see a prompt. My tokens for Azure AD are alive forever. As long as you're using them, they will not expire.
Refresh.
Let me show you live coding. We'll show you what I mean. So if I do an AZ account clear, so this will get rid of everything I've got.
Yep.
And then do an AZ login. I should probably do device code because otherwise this is going to open up a browser window, which I really don't want. So we're going to switch to, let me just go to a private window.
You can always click browse as guest.
What?
That's true. I could do that too, but
yeah.
How?
In private windows, if when you're doing shopping and you don't want your wife to see what you've been surfing for her.
Why would I buy for my wife? I can buy for myself.
So here's the login screen, right? So this is what I would see if I wasn't already signed in with a profile.
Yep.
And I'll sign in, and then.
And you have to do MFA because we have a policy that requires blanket MFA, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So the blanket MFA policy is what's actually hitting me. So I'm doing this on my phone. Signed in. Now I'm signed in. Now it will sign me into CLI.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And it says you've logged in, blah, blah, blah. So now AZ VM or AZ SSH VM, and now I should be able to get back in because I'm coming from my house.
Yes.
So, and there we are.
Yep.
Sweet.
Yep.
And because you already have all the MFA tokens and everything, if you came in without MFA, the token request would say, because your administrator changed your CA policy to require MFA, you need to sign in with MFA, and you will have to do device login again against a specific Azure resource.
Yep. Cool.
Pretty much.
So it's neat
because
though.
there are things that people are trying to do. I want MFA on every single access. Let me put it this way. This is an abysmal idea.
Why?
Tell us why it's an
prompts
abysmal
equals
idea.
less security.
Why?
Because people get used to approving prompts. We had a couple of our wonderful PFEs did assist with pen tests at customers. Turns out, if you guess someone's password, and you try authenticating against them, when person sees the MFA prompt on their phone, they will blindly approve it 3 out of 4 times.
Really?
Yes.
Even though they haven't initiated the transaction, they will approve it?
Because the mindset across most organizations is those silly IT guys, they changed something. Probably my Outlook just outdated. Let me approve it so I don't have any issues. The thing is, even if people start denying them because they getting onslaught of them, no one reports those because they assume IT guys messed up.
Yeah. Well, they usually do.
That's a big assumption.
Yes. Yeah. The thing is that because that happens too much, because when you roll out MFA, people get accustomed to onslaught of MFA requests. And security, big quotes, department comes in and says, MFA on every access. And MFA needs to be visible because people need to see I've done things.
That's right. IT is working for you. By making you,
but at the end of the day, every time we talk to customers, we in Microsoft have a noble goal: 1 prompt per user, per device, per password change. And all of our 2,000 and change devs are working with that principle in mind. If you trying to go against it, you have all of Microsoft identity muscle against you.
Well, so what happens? So when I sign into Windows, right, and I have
Yep.
my refresh token on Windows.
Yep.
I mean because I hardly ever type in I never type in credentials really for my workstation that's joined, and that's primarily driven by the refresh token in Windows.
Yep.
And so I only really end up doing MFA like via phone for when I'm in a private window or like in very specific certain cases.
Especially in Microsoft, you will not be able to use in private window to get almost anywhere because we require compliant device, and in private window cannot assert device compliance.
Yes.
I
hate that. I hate it when it happens.
I love it.
I mean, it has its own purpose, and I totally get it. But at the same time, sometimes it's a little bit annoying.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. Well, hey, thanks for destroying my tenant. Lord only knows if I'll ever be able to sign into that thing again. At this point.
I didn't change anything. So
okay, well,
it was all you, JP.
This time
I
he
had
didn't
to
change
register
anything
another
today.
MFA. So my authenticator right now has, I think, 70 entries for Azure MFA in different tenants.
Oh yeah, I can believe that. Yeah. That's
And
crazy.
when I enroll from Intune, all of those will be gone.
So what happens when you get I've got to dump my iPhone out of Intune because this whole VPN thing is completely ridiculous.
It's not a VPN. So let's be really clear. It's not VPN. It's a local loopback.
Yeah.
That basically sees if you're not trying to browse illegal porn.
What? That is very oddly specific.
I think it's
did
sort
some
of like
tests for MSIT.
Oh God. Oh my God! I don't even want to know.
We went from praising them to making them.
The thing is, I understand the concern, but as long as it doesn't drain battery, what's the harm?
That's the problem. I think it kills the battery, right? And in fact, I was commenting on Twitter the other day that a lot of people at Microsoft decided to not install it, and they went either with their phones not being in tune and they went off the org, or they got a second device just for that.
Or go on Android and use work profiles.
That's what I'm doing now. I mean, I have a second phone just for that.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't think it's a big deal. It's not a VPN, and just...
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a fan because I have an Android phone and it definitely kills my battery faster. I mean, 3:00 in the afternoon, that thing's dead. So I don't know. I'm just saying. Anyway, all right. We're going to get out of here. Thanks for hanging out, Daniel. Always a pleasure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Have you come in and ruin my tenant. Layla's streaming. Why don't we go over and see what Layla's up to?
Yeah, Raiden.
Let's get rating. I'll get a Microsoft developer.
So we'll be back next. We'll be back on Tuesday. Daniel's be back on Wednesday. What are you guys doing next week, Daniel?
I have no clue. We don't have an idea.
Par for the course then. So we're ready to go. So hey, we're gonna get out of here.
We'll just wing it. Yeah.
I love the forward planning.
Hey, go join Discord. Yeah, like we plan.
We do those not to get crazy, to do something fun for work.
Yeah. Go join the Discord. We'll be out there. It sounds like there's a bunch of conversation out there today about P2C and stuff. Anyway, we're going to go over and see what Layla's doing. Hope everybody has a great weekend. And we'll see you back here next week. Later on, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks, y'all.